January 6th, I believe. It's the 6th or is it 7th? It's the 6th. Okay, so Monday, January 6th. Yeah. I have a quiet moment, believe it or not. Yeah, I'm just going to use this time to channel, you know. Yeah, see what my ancestors want to bring forth today with the permission of the Most High. I've been breaking down my reflections, you know, breaking it up to post online. So I'm happy to be able to do that and share that with those who are interested. I know there may be people who may not like my style of reflection, expression, yeah, but one thing I'm learning about growth is, you know, those things are subject to change. So I don't try to give too much thought to that because there were times in my life when I did, and I find that I find myself thinking about my mom's favorite saying when she says, "You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't." So I noticed when I would be very observant and I would be very, very slow to say what's on my mind. And it's not to say that when you're quiet that you're not thinking about what's on your mind. You're just not sharing it with others, right? And at that time, I would get so what you thinking about? So how do you feel about that? Oh, Deborah, you're so quiet. Yeah, because when I was growing up, you know, especially when I was younger, you know, that was something I would get shut down for, was because I was so expressive. So now with the spiritual growth that has taken place and the expansion of my mind, you know, I just find myself having this liberation from spirit, allowing me to see, you know, just beyond the surface and understanding the things that are truly important, you know, especially as people who are labeled as black. We should know better. And when I say we should know better, I mean we've dealt with people expressing themselves in a very professional manner while setting you up. Yeah, not having your best interest at heart. Very, very businesslike, very, very politically correct. You know, you have plenty of politicians and people of that nature who don't use profanity, and they're involved in the most diabolical shit against the people of the world, especially the indigenous. So I'm constantly reminded of that. It's not that I make an excuse, because I don't feel anybody has the position to do that to me, in a sense, like, I don't know how to say that, like, put me in my place. I feel like if it's coming from the divine, I would respect it, because when it comes from the divine, the timing's also the divine. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I know myself. I know how I've carried myself. I've given people a lot of passes, you know, just trying to put myself in their shoes, trying to understand and give them space to express themselves. So I'm not one on shutting people down, but at the same time, like I said, this is a growth process, and so I can only act on what I know, yeah, until that gets refined for the better. And the better doesn't mean that I'm going to appeal to the masses, that everybody's going to like me or everybody's going to accept what I have to say. I know that's a lie. So I don't use that as a mark of engagement to see whether or not the divine is pleased with me. I know that's already is. Yeah, because like I said, this is where my freedom and liberation is coming from, to speak my mind, based on what it is that I'm learning. And I know that I will be able to commune with those who understand what it is that I'm saying, who are not, turned off by me expressing myself the way I express myself, right? I think the people that I wish to connect with like this will appreciate my authenticity and that I'm not trying to copy them. We know growing up, especially in high school, that's something that would piss a lot of people off. It would start a lot of gossip, especially if you had people who were close to you. And females know what I'm talking about, because you'll have somebody that gets close to you and then they're imitating you. Some people get really agitated by that, because it's just like, why don't you just be yourself? Why are you trying to be like me? I've seen them even put these in cartoons, like, what's the new Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood? My daughter watches that sometimes, and they had an episode like that where the kids, the little girl was getting upset because she was like, I just want you to be yourself. Like, I don't need you to mimic me. Like, but you'll have these people who feel more driven to give people what they want because they feel like they're going to lose the friendship. But that's not friendship then, right? That's not friendship when you have to be someone you're not in order to be in a relationship. Yeah? So I don't want to be anything other than what I am at this moment, and I am open to change, but it's going to be based on my awareness, yeah, my growth, the things I come to understand and learn for myself, not because I'm hell-bent on making sure I get the right reaction from people. That's not how I'm gauging my growth. So, I guess I just wanted to share that because I am aware of that. Yeah, but the peace that I'm feeling, the comfort that I feel, the safety that I feel is bar none. Yeah, I can't deny that, and I can't help somebody else to understand that if that's not their experience with the divine. And the divine is not making it my responsibility to implement that. You understand? Because I know this to be true because this is how I came to be. You understand? This is how I came to be in this moment, is accepting those advances from the divine that allowed me to learn in the manner in which I needed to learn and to get what I need to get, So I'm happy about that. I'm celebrating that, you know what I mean? And I've been told to celebrate that, and I've shared that in my downloads just to help others, give others the opportunity to have the opportunity to get an idea of where I'm coming from. If they don't, it's okay. I'm going to still be me, and I'm going to still share when I feel moved to. Yeah. So, yeah. I'm just waiting on my son to get out of his game. Yeah, so it's late here, and it's nice and quiet. It's nice and quiet. Yeah. One thing I did notice, and I guess I can use this time to reflect on that. I noticed someone I'm subscribed to posted a video, and I noticed I was getting agitated. And it's not about them. It's about me. Anytime this happens, I'm already trying to figure out, okay, girl, what is going on? Like, why are you agitated by what this man is saying or what this woman is saying? And, for me, I'm noticing that I'm gaining zero tolerance for hearing about what others are plotting and planning for our worst as a collective. Trust, I understand the importance of keeping up with what's going on in the world. Yeah, I get that. But some of this stuff, I'll start to listen, and then it's like something's telling me, stay focused, stay centered, and stay focused. You know why? Because that's what allows you to be able to speak on the things that you speak on, yeah, because of your growth. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, it's not that what they're doing is wrong. Is that where I'm at in my spiritual growth, I need to really be focused on what it is that I'm hearing. And because even as I share with other people, it's so important to establish that confidence, you understand what I'm saying, in source, that you tune in and that you tap in and turn on to that which is ever present, always there for you. You understand what I mean? And you know this because you've built a rapport with that. You know, you can depend on that. Just like people who say they have a best friend or whatever. You call that person your best friend because you've built rapport with them. You can trust in them. You can depend on them in times of need and trouble and stuff like that. And I don't know, there's just something that's telling me, you know, one of the things that get people worried and anxious is that they know this deep down inside. Like, they subconsciously know that people have limitations. And so the reason why a lot of people are so hell-bent on establishing agreements is because of that. You know what I mean? I need you to agree that you're going to be here at this place at this time because I need you to do that so I can know that this is going to work out, right? Because it's the natural the natural course of things, you know. Man is not to be, you know what I mean, depended upon like that. I don't think, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's beautiful when you have people who want to be there for you authentically, sincerely from their heart. That is wonderful. That is a beautiful thing. But then you have people who do things because they feel guilty about it, because they don't, you know, they want, you understand what I'm saying? It's very manipulative, and people tend to find out how that is when, you know, people tend to find that out when they're hit with circumstances that are very, very detrimental or very, very serious and call for emergency. Yeah, and that's when you see people fall out because they're like, my God, like, you know what I mean? You were supposed to be there for me. Why weren't you there? You said you love me. You said you're my friend, but you're not my friend, and da-da-da-da-da-da. So this is the reason why I understand subconsciously people know that they are not supposed to depend on others for that space that only can be filled by the divine. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they just know that that's not possible. Yeah? And I think it's foolish for us to do that because when we consider other people's station and what they've gone through and the things that they may be responsible for and accountable for in their lives, I don't think necessarily that it's always the case that somebody is trying to purposefully hurt you, purposefully not be there for you, purposefully, you know, wish you ill will. Yeah? We know there's people out there that do and they get off on that. Yeah, but that's not everybody. Yeah, and that's just something that I've learned from myself where it's just like, listen, yeah, nobody owes you anything. If there's certain things that are to be had or to be received or meant for your life, I feel like it's going to happen. I don't think anybody can take that away from you. And if they can, is it that valuable? Is it as valuable as you think it is? And is it set up for you to is there something more to see here? You understand? That's like one of the things that I have shared in one of my downloads where I was speaking on that. And I said, you know, there is something that turns me off when I feel like if I want something or I desire something and somebody can take it away from me, I'm turned off by that. I'm turned off by that. I'm immediately, you know, exiting the equation. You know what I mean? I think people know what I mean. Like for relationships, we know this is big. Like if you're interested in someone, right, and they're showing interest in you, and then all of a sudden another person comes in the equation and they stop showing interest in you and they start showing interest in that other person. Are you the type of person that feel like, oh, that other person took that person away from you? Or are you the type that says, you know what, if this person was for me, that other person couldn't come into the equation and take that person from me? I'm the second. As soon as I see that person, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. It's no hard feelings. It's more of I know what I deserve, and I know that some people, when they do see that someone's desperate, they play on that, especially men with women. Yeah, they do that. Yeah, if they can see that they can't get what they want out of you, but they can bring another person in the equation and start giving that person attention, and now you're going to be calling them, going through their phone, showing up to their house. There are some people that like that, and it's because they're pulling your strings. You're not in control. They feel they are in control because they get to choose to do certain things, and you act accordingly. So that makes them feel powerful because you're like a puppet on their strings, and they're pulling the string. Yeah? It's a fiat power. It is definitely fiat, nonetheless, but it is something that they're feeling because of you, because of your unawareness of what's going on. So when it comes to our communities, when it comes to people you have to engage with and interface with on this planet, I just feel like the ones that are meant to be, yeah, will reciprocate. And they won't be reciprocating because of fear. They'll be reciprocating because that's who they are, and that's who they would treat anybody. Yeah? Yeah, in a situation like that. Yeah, that's where you see character come out of a person like, nigga, like, this ain't no special treatment. This is what I would do if I seen another person in this situation and I was there. This is what I would do for them. Yeah, this is just who I am. I don't change that because I'm not for sale. You understand? Some people you see they're for sale because they stop the kindness. As soon as you don't give them what they want, they stop the kindness. Yeah? And I'm not saying you should be out here being kind to people who are being very nasty and rude to you and all that other stuff. No. No. This is not what we're saying here. And this is why I said it's so important for us to have a personal relationship with the divine, because then when you are in these situations where you can't call up certain people or certain mentors and things of that nature, the divine is always there. And like I said, if you build a rapport with this, you know it's there even in tough situations. You know it's just a matter of timing for things to fulfill itself the way it needs to fulfill itself. You're not anxious about nothing because you've built rapport with the divine and you know how the divine comes through. Actually, you might be a little bit excited to see how this thing is going to play itself out, because it's going to be another experience under your belt in which the divine shows you just how reliable it is. And how you were wise to wait on that versus pushing somebody else into doing something you felt they should do for you. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah. That was something that was one of the things I was thinking about today, because I was just like, man, like, what is going on with you with this? Like, why is this, you know? Because I was really trying to listen, and I know I've grown a lot. And for something to just be like, You know how when you was in school, you really tried hard to read that book at home, and someone was like, Yeah, you start falling asleep, dozing off, and then people are telling you, oh, you're not disciplined, you're not studious. No, sometimes it's just not meant for you. You have no interest in what it is that somebody else is trying to get you to listen to. You just like, I'm not ready for that. I don't have no interest in what you're saying right now, and I'm really trying to pay attention, but I really don't care. I really don't care. I am trying here. Yeah. And you have to get to know yourself and be comfortable with yourself and love yourself enough to know that you deserve that expression, that you don't have to give somebody a response just because you're afraid of them not liking you or saying some foul shit about you and all this other stuff when you're just being true to yourself. Yeah? That's why I use that song in my one of my latest posts, yeah, called Thank You, yeah? The one that goes, thank you for letting me be myself again. That's what it feels like. Like that song resonates with me right now. You know, that's what my heart is saying to the divine. Thank you for letting me be myself again. Again, because I lost myself at one point, of course, with the indoctrination. Yeah? And now I'm coming back into that, but with wisdom, like to understand. Okay, here, yeah, I'm gonna teach you balance with this. I'm gonna help you to see how you can be yourself, but you can also be in alignment and ascend in that alignment. Yeah, and you can keep growing in that and becoming better and better in that. And it's so exciting. Like it's so exciting. It feels so good within. It really does. So much so, it seems so powerful because you know why it's powerful? It's because oftentimes when I'm looking at the contrast from without, that's where I see the power because it's just like, God damn, like I have this contrast previously in my life where, you know, it was very important to get other people's validation. Now it's like, okay. Okay, you don't like me. Okay, you think I'm this way. Okay, well, I know how the divine feels about me, so yeah, it don't penetrate like it used to. And it's so refreshing. It's so refreshing. So yeah, you just see that a lot of folks still go through that, and you know, because everybody's on their own personal journey. And so you see that sometimes, and then you're just reminded, like, man, like I know what you're feeling, because I used to be there, yeah. However, I can't sympathize with you as if to join you back into that, yeah. I just have to continue to keep growing. So, you know, in doing that, not only am I loving myself, I'm loving my neighbor because I'm giving my neighbor an example of light. Yeah, how to move forward when you've been through difficult situations, how you don't have to give up on yourself, how you don't have to believe that it's over, that there's nothing else left in this world that you can experience that would be worth living. You understand what I'm saying? Like we end up becoming those beacons of hope or beacons of light, if you will, to others who are still in these very dark spaces in which they feel like there's no getting out of. Yeah? And the Most High is very protective about us because sometimes when people are drowning, they want to grab a hold of you and pull you in too. Kind of like the example of crabs in the barrel, you know? They all want to get out, but they're so anxious with getting out and not understanding how the divine works. They think it's necessary to ascend is you got to take your neighbor down. You got to stomp on other people's necks. Yeah? You gotta throw people under the bus in order to get where you need to go. Like you gotta lie on people and manipulate them and talk shit about them in order to get better things in your life. You understand? You gotta cheat. Yeah? That's the crabs in the barrel mentality. That's the, you know, don't throw the floaty out to me. I need you to come into this water so I can just, yeah, start panicking and jump on your shoulders and not realize I'm drowning you too. And yeah, in my anxiousness and in my worrisome, I'm drowning you too. So the divine is very protective, and the divine is very protective in the sense that when we tap into source, we receive wisdom to help us to know how far we should go. Yet without feeling guilty about someone not taking that lifeline. Yeah, if they don't choose to take the lifeline, that's on them. You know what I'm saying? But they're not about to take you down with them because that's how truly real this experience is with the divine. Yeah, give me a second. Yeah, so I guess he's not ready yet. Another thought is, was watching the movie Mufasa, The Lion King, and there were a lot of reflections with as it correlates to my spiritual growth and understanding gained with regards to masculine and feminine energy. I don't want to spoil it for anybody that hasn't seen it yet, so spoiler alert if you don't want to hear the rest of this. Yeah, but it's interesting. You watch this cartoon, right, and this animation, whatever you want to call it, and it's so interesting because I'm thinking about all the clarity that I received with regards to divine masculine energy and divine feminine energy as opposed to karmic feminine energy and karmic masculinity, masculinity and or femininity, and to see the dynamic of how they depicted the lion and their prides, their different prides in this movie, it was quite fascinating, they're depicting Mufasa's story from the beginning when he was a little cub, and you know what, I might just save this for another time because I think I might need to take my time with that and share that. But I just thought it was so interesting because you had, so Mufasa, he's spending time with his parents, and, they're looking at the land and everything, kind of like they did to Simba, looking at the land, looking at, what they dream of, because they start off in a place that's very barren, and they're trying to make it to this promised land, and and the name of the promised land, I can't think of it right now, but I remember them saying that it means forever, right? So I'm like, immediately my thoughts are going to like immortality, just understanding like when we come into that divine union, you know that it's forever, right? You know that anything you cultivate from that is forever. But there's a point in time where Mufasa, as a young cub, gets separated from his parents due to a natural phenomenon, right? I'm not going to go into detail. So he gets separated from his parents, and then he's pretty much found by another cub from another pride, right? And I don't know if I'm saying that right, or family, whatever. So this cub helps him out with the assistance of his mother. Now, his mother, she represents to me, this cub that he runs into is pretty much Scar. Scar doesn't start off as Scar. Scar starts off as Taka. I didn't look up his name, but I might do it later to see what that means. So Taka is a cub that finds Mufasa when he's younger, and he pretty much helps rescue him with the assistance of his mother, whose name is, I believe, Ashe. And I said, oh, that's cute. And Ashe, she's like, O'Shea or Ashe, I don't know if they were saying like Ashe like we say Ashe, right? But either way, she represented a divine feminine energy. Like, that's what I seen with this mother. She represented the divine feminine energy because, and not to say that Mufasa's mother didn't represent that, but she didn't have, his mother and father didn't have much play in the movie, considering, it depicts the storyline of his separation from them and what he has to go through with this other family. So this mother, she represents divine feminine energy because she just has this wisdom about herself. So much so she doesn't let her partner, the male lion, the king, if you will, in her pride, dictate her thoughts. Like, you can tell she's not how they depict in with human beings. It's almost like if you're married, you're supposed to shut up. Yeah, within the patriarchy, the woman's supposed to shut up. Yeah, that's how she shows her loyalty to her man. She shuts up. She agrees with him. She stands by his side through thick and thin, even when he's wrong. Okay? No, this particular mother lion shows her wisdom. Yeah, even when her partner, yeah, this Lion King at the time from another tribe is disgusted with what he calls a stranger. Yeah, this cub is a stranger. Mufasa is a stranger, and you know we don't accept strangers, right? Because the story surrounding that is that they're not to be trusted. So the mother is more like, hey, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? Like, what's he gonna do? He's a cub. Was he gonna beat you up? Like, she's using, yeah, and she's very comical about that. Like, yeah, he's just gonna, and you can tell the masculine, he's not toxic because he's not, even though he's disgusted, he's not allowing that disgustedness to carry out in his overall behavior. There is a time where they come to a challenge, right? They come to a challenge. He allows Mufasa to stay if Mufasa can beat his son in a race. Because Mufasa started bragging about running. For some reason, this comes up. And he's like, no, I'm the fastest runner, right? This is what his father has validated. Even in the beginning, when you see him with his parents, this is what his father validates for him. That you're the fastest runner. I'm not even going to try to race you. You know what I mean? So he's like, bet. So Mufasa's a cub at this time, is racing Taka, who is Scar, right? Scar hasn't turned into Scar yet, but this is pretty much who he is, yeah? So Taka pretty much is, he wants him to stay, yeah? He's like, they having that vibe of, I've always wanted a brother, I want you to stay, da-da-da-da-da, right? So they start to race. As soon as they start to race, the masculine, right, the lion, he trips Mufasa. And the mother looks at him like, what are you doing, right? She looks at him like, what are you doing? And he's like, he's going to be king one day, and so he can't lose his first challenge. And his mother goes, wait. It's not about him losing his first challenge. He must win that in honor, right? So she kind of like sharpens him. Yeah, and that's what I feel like a divine feminine does to a divine masculine or a masculine, is that she sharpens him like, wait. I know you have a desire and a tradition, but that tradition doesn't override honor and integrity and character. If Mufasa wins this race, he's staying here fair and square, right? Because that's what the father agreed to, right? But what you're not going to do is trip him before he starts racing so that your son can win, okay? Because then that's not an honor, that's dishonor. So I was loving that part. I'm just like, yeah, this is, see how it is or whatever. So even Mufasa, with his experience and his time with this new family, he's starting to see, the dynamic between the mother and the father here, as opposed to what he went through with his own biological parents. Because even after he wins, the male lion is salty about him winning and pretty much says, you have to stay with the female. So he separates Mufasa from Taka, yeah, as to say, no, I need to groom, because he felt like he had the better advantage, like to really groom, his son for, that kingship. And as Mufasa's around, he feels like it's a challenge, right? So he's like, yeah, go with the women. Go with the females, go with the ladies. You stay with them, because he feels like it's going to put him at a disadvantage. Little did he know, like, we understand as human beings, it's the woman, it's the female, it's the lioness that goes out and hunt. So for her to even go out and hunt, she has built a level of skill to understand and notice stuff. And this is what you'll see in the movie, is that she starts teaching Mufasa this stuff. As a male who's supposed to be with the males, but he's with the females, and the females are teaching. She's talking to him. She's not telling him what to do, but she starts asking him questions about what he feels, what he smells, what he senses, because it's kind of like putting him into that feminine role, right? To really see, like, this is what we do when we're out here. So he's gaining all these skills that Taka's not going to have, you know, because he's just sitting with his dad, right? And he wants to go. he wants Mufasa to stay, or he wants to go with Mufasa and his mother, but his dad's like, you know, just stay here with me, just watch me. And then his dad lays down and goes to sleep, and he's like, you want me to watch you go to sleep? He was like, well, you know, kind of like that whole the kings need his nap and stuff like that, because we have to protect the pride, right? So it looked like Taka wasn't buying it. His son wasn't buying it. He's just like, whatever. Yeah, whatever, Dad. Whatever, Dad. He wasn't impressed. So I just thought the dynamic of the feminine and the masculine in this movie was really, really interesting, even when it came to the part of them dealing with another pride, which was like the foe. Yeah. Kind of representing karmics. Like, they definitely represented karmics. And they almost looked like albino. They was like albino, like Siberian-looking lions. Like, they were white, like they were like ashy white, like, and but they were very aggressive. I noticed the males were very aggressive. The king was aggressive. You can tell that his arrogance came from the lioness, who kind of supported him in his aggressiveness. And he would talk like all the power was his, as if he wasn't recognizing the lioness, you know? And then the lioness would back him up, as if they didn't understand that the power was really with themselves and not just him. You know, it kind of reminds me of that dynamic when you have like a selfish leader and they're talking and they're so pompous and they come off very infinite. Am I saying that word right? Infinite? Infinite? I don't know if I'm saying that word, but they come off very, you know, yeah, like it's kind of like how they depict Pharaoh from the colonizer's point of view. Like, Pharaoh comes off very like as if he's competing with women. You know what I mean? Like, how they depict Egypt and shit is a very distorted view of fucking Egypt. Yeah, and it really is like shitting on the actual discipline that, you know, these people had to have in order to tap into what they were able to tap into. You know, I feel like the colonizer depicts Egypt. Yeah, the pharaoh's just sitting around eating grapes out of a bowl while people feed them that and bathe them and all this other stuff or whatnot. And it's far from that. It's far from that. You know, it's more than that. You know, if that was the case, I would feel like it's more than that. Yeah, but it's always about this, you know, enslavement. Let me enslave somebody else so that I can feel bigger. But you really ain't bigger because you don't even know how to work with your own hands and create and manifest your own shit. So this particular Siberian-looking lion pride, you know, they have this king that kind of like acts like that. Kind of like how Scar acts when he's older in the first Lion King. He just has this like infinite way about him. And like I said, it's like a leader that's very selfish. Like, he'll be like in his middle of his own speech and shit, and he'll leave everybody out, and then he'll notice it. And then he'll be like, he'll try to fix it up real quick. I mean, like, yeah, thanks to the lioness, you know. That kind of energy. That's what it felt like, you know what I mean? And I was like, hey, look at this shit right here. This is the karmic feminine and the karmic masculine right here. The karmic feminines don't know the power they carry, so they just give it over, and then they inflate the male's ego to where he is not balanced, and he really thinks he possesses a power that he don't possess. If it wasn't for those female lions backing him up, yeah, he would probably get devoured out there. He would get devoured out there. Yeah, by the true divine masculines. He would probably, I don't even want to say that. He would get devoured out there by other masculines. Yeah, if that wasn't the case. So, I was just reflecting on all these things because it was that good. For the reflection, of course, but I just think that's what's happening right now, especially with the awakening process. You know, it's not to to belittle the roles we play within this avatar, you know. Yes, we have this masculine sentiment and principle within, but we have the body of either, you know, a male, a man or a woman on this planet. And so when you understand as within, so without, you realize that having a certain vehicle doesn't take away from your essence. Yeah? It doesn't take away from your essence. I believe it is harder for the male just because of certain limitations within the body. But can it be done? I think, yes, it can. It's just going to take a lot more discipline because they just have everything at their disposal. You understand what I'm saying? It's kind of like what they try to show in the Barbie movie when Ken went to, you know, the natural land and he saw the patriarchy and how the men were running things as opposed to the Barbie world where the women were really, it was a matriarch. And so you see how Ken got all excited when he went to, where the humans were and seeing how they were functioning and stuff like that. That's what the males are up against. So it's a little bit harder for them because they have everything afforded to them. Like it's almost like spoiling them. So when you actually get a man who has discipline, who actually goes against that grain, he goes against the grain and he challenges himself and he works on himself and he clears up karmic debt and he works on his shadow work. You understand what I'm saying? That's to be commendable because with what they're up against, that's a lot. That's a lot. They got everything being thrown at them. And I feel like for the women are kind of likened to a person who is labeled black or grows up in poverty, yeah, especially here in America. Like, it's almost like, yeah, our plight is difficult, but we've been given more power. So to whom much power is given, much is required. And so there's just a little bit more expected from us because, you know, we just have this experience, if you will, locked up inside of us that, yeah, you just turn the right keys. It's a done deal. For good, not for bad. It's a done deal for good, not for bad. So I just think, like, the woman is likened to a person, and I say this because I liken myself to this. It's just like when you realize that if it wasn't for all these obstacles that was presented to you, that you would have never known your strength, right? Like, because all these obstacles the patriarchy created for women, you know, we have a conditioning that the man does not have. The man is like spoiled. The woman is like the person that had to always prove herself, so she always had to go within and find a way because the world wasn't giving that to her. It wasn't about to pave that way to her. She had to literally fight for that shit. She had to literally, like, go out and plead with motherfuckers and become clever, you know, in her way of dealing with the man and all this other stuff because it was almost like slavery. No, it was slavery. Yeah, they corrected me. No, it was slavery. It's slavery. Just like the colonizers treat, like, the black folks, the male treats the woman. Yeah, it's a hierarchy. So it's a means to step on those who are lower. Yeah? And to use them as a stepping stone. You understand what I'm saying? So the males ain't going to have a certain stamina that we have. Yeah, they might have the body that they can take to the gym and work it out and be stronger or whatever, but we know that's not what gets results. If that was the case, the 1% wouldn't have been able to do what they've done to the 99 because it's all about up here. Yeah? They don't have to do much because they use their mental to control the muscle of others. Yeah, so they don't have to do their dirty work. They come up with these clever ideas to pay you to do it. Yeah? So you know it's not about, so I know men, they say, oh, we build the world and stuff like that, but just understand under whose tyranny. Under what tyranny, And realize that, you might have built the world, but there was a lot that the woman had to deal with where she had to use her mental faculties. You understand what I'm saying? She had to exercise her mental faculties because she knew she didn't stand the chance physically. Not by herself, at least. Not by herself. With her team of females, but not by herself. So when you're in situations like that, you use your brain. You have to start using your head. This is why a lot of people that grow up in the hood or grow in these situations where it's tough, they have thick skin because they've been through things and they had to learn how to survive, how to get through when people were saying closing doors on them and telling them no and all this other stuff. It just made them stronger if they stuck to, keeping it moving and not allowing other people to make them feel like what they deserved was wrong, what they felt they deserved was wrong. You know what I'm saying? So, it was a lot of gems in there. I would encourage anybody to go see that movie because there was a lot of gems with regards to the feminine and masculine principle. And, Rafiki was another one it was pretty cool to just see, that shamanism and, Yoda-ism, if you want to say like that, just that wise elder energy, in Rafiki, and just seeing how he was. And you just have all these people that are like pretty much an outcast to where they come from, and coming together, they just, make shit happen. So, so that was it. But I hope you guys are doing well. I hope your New Year's is going good, and until next time, peace.